responsible for what you think about me. I'm not responsible for what you feel about me. I'm responsible for how I make you feel with the things that I do.
But I was always picked on by black boys.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Shit, we ain't got no choice.
We don't have no choice.
They require a lot of fucking patience.
What are you talking about? My love is strong.
Yep.
It is strong. And so I had to be very mindful about who I just gave it to.
Yes. We have our best conversations when we're in the seat and when we can trust our hairdresser. You're getting your crown adjusted. And so I thought this was the perfect place to be vulnerable for this episode of BookBae.
Just to stamp the damn name. Can't ignore but can't adore. All the pain that wrote the story. See the scars but feel the glory. Healing with no Neosporin. BookBae, BookBae. Big books, big bangs. BookBae, BookBae. I do what I can, don't worry about what I can't. Ay, BookBae, LaReshia O, LaReshia O. Big books, LaReshia O, LaReshia O. BookBae, LaReshia O, LaReshia O. I do what I can, don't worry about what I can't. LaReshia O, and the one and only, let's get it. LaReshia O, LaReshia O, let's get it. LaReshia O, LaReshia O. LaReshia O, LaReshia O.
With me today. I am so thankful for these beautiful women. Y'all, I love y'all. So, we won't get into it. They got Kanika doing what she do.
Yes.
Connie with the body
with
doing
the body,
it.
with the body.
Like, she the dopest with it.
Talk.
So, listen.
I'm listening.
I love you, okay?
I love you too, baby.
You have a beautiful soul.
As well.
You bring so much to this tribe. So much beauty, so much laughter, so much good vibes, so much. Oh my God, you can't help but love you.
Okay, so you telling me I'm enough?
Baby, you more than enough.
Oh, okay.
Baby, listen.
Okay, thank you.
Baby.
Thank you.
It's okay.
Baby.
Girl.
Ooh.
And listen, they brought all of us together in some way, shape,
What a masterpiece.
What a masterpiece, right? So, we are Wheu Studios, where Day Foster is the creative director. Because she creatively directs your life, if you allow it.
Deadass.
Deadass. She makes it when she's talking to everybody she loves, makes it about them. This is what we're doing. What do you want to do? Let's go from there.
Yeah.
So I got closer to her beautiful cousin Jessica through the process of her creatively directing my life. I always knew Jessica. You know what I'm saying? She's a true boss. Just recently agreed to be Dave's role manager. So that's it. Let's boss it up. Let's boss it up. And Mama Vetra in the building, y'all. This is I gained Mama Vetra in my life. Like I said, they brought all of us together. So now we are a tribe. You're a newer tribe. And we bring peace and light, and we exude God. And Mama Vetra is, I want to say, the head of everything She's the go-to when everybody having issues. We know we can call Mama Vetra and she gonna have a word for us. Every time I'm in her presence, I cry within the first 15 minutes. I don't know what that's about. I know what it's about. It's the God that exudes through her, but I appreciate her. She's anointed, yes. Love her. So I wanted to do this BookBae episode in the salon. Like I said, kind of doing her thing, because in the salon is where we come and, you know, we can be vulnerable. And these hairstylists and these cosmetologists are therapists, you know.
For sure.
I'm a therapist.
There you go, therapist.
I'm a therapist.
Yes. So, hot topic right now. Will Smith.
ain't never lied.
Will Smith, he was co-wrote by Mark Mason. This book, he, you know, goes into his life from a kid in Philly. Y'all done heard the story.
What's Philadelphia?
Okay. For me, with writing my book, I realized my book is a healing journey, and I realized a lot of my healing surrounded around men and what men have done and what they haven't done, that make me see life in a different perspective. So one of the main things is the abuse or the non-abuse that a man can have on women and what power we give them. Have y'all ever been in a situation where, you know, you've given a man too much power, whether it be like...
Yeah, girl.
like,
And you gotta snatch it back.
gotta take it back. Yeah. How do you get it back though? You know, after you feel like you played yourself or you put yourself in situations to where, you know, how do you take your power back?
Think about it like this. Think about somebody, an athlete, and they fall off a little bit. But what you do, you go to the gym and you practice. So it's gonna take a little bit of practice.
So are we being patient with these men while they practice?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, we ain't got no choice.
We don't have no choice.
They require a lot of fucking patience.
What do you talk about?
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I was thinking the alternative, do you give up on them or do you be patient with them?
Some people do.
Yeah.
And when you give up on them, either they deserved it
But you deserved it.
or you just wanted to give up on them.
You deserve peace, shit.
But when you know better, you gonna do better. When you know what you deserve. When you know what you deserve. When you can look at this situation and say, you know what, this is not serving me at all.
Period.
It causes me pain. It causes me bitterness. It causes me frustration. I get no joy out of being in this relationship with you. So I'm not going to cut you off. I'm going to release you to be who you are called to be.
Release.
I release you in love. The reason I release you in love is because if I release you in love, that means I leave the door open that when you found your way to whoever it is you are searching to be, I leave the door open that when you are ready, you can come back.
Oh my goodness, that makes so much sense.
Even if we're not in an intimate relationship, and these are all my relationships, whether it's personal, whether it's a work relationship, people that I deal with on a regular basis, I have to look at the situation and say, you know what, this is not working for me anymore.
That's a very good point.
I love you, but I love you enough to let you be whoever it is you're called to be without feeling like you're tied down to me.
Right.
So be free, bird. Fly. Fly, eagle, fly.
Because sometimes, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, because with that, we gotta have, like, my big thing is understanding where people are coming from, understanding why people move like they do. Like, life is all about choices, and we choose who we want who we want in our lives.
Sometimes holding on to them is enabling them. Sometimes always being available for someone. Sometimes it could be a baby brother. Sometimes it could be your father, because you're such a reliable source, which is not a negative thing. Of course, it's a positive thing, but and it's not just black men. It is in general across the board.
Yeah.
When you are always available, you're always that crutch, you're always that security, they don't know how to adapt and adjust and to grow into being who they need to be once they're released.
And they're not responsible with the time that you give them.
Right.
If I give you my time, if I give you my energy, that means that there is something about you that I say, you know what, you deserve this.
Yes.
You deserve. My time is precious. My energy is precious. My love is strong.
Right.
It is strong. And so I had to be very mindful about who I just gave it to.
Yes. But coming from this world, I couldn't even say the United States, men have through their brute strength and taken control. So for women that are in that vulnerable state where they're lost and they are just only taking direction from men and they can't live without a man, where should they start to get out of that situation?
Finding themselves.
That's where it starts. That's where it starts.
Finding themselves.
And how can you
love
that?
and find somebody if you don't know you?
Yes, you're right.
If you ain't got you.
You're right. And I think that starts with asking yourself those questions. Asking yourself, like, what am I doing? How is this man helping me? How is he not helping me? And I don't think it's what good outweigh the bad, because sometimes the bad can be so ugly that, you know, it can change the way you value yourself.
Yep.
So yeah, we love our black men. Shout out to the ones doing their thing. You know, when you
shout out to the ones struggling.
Yes. That part.
We praying for y'all.
Listen, and that's exactly what a black woman do. Stand by you no matter what. Stand by that black man no matter what.
And
that's
sometimes
exactly
to a flaw. Shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes to a flaw. Like JJ, like, have you ever just stood, like, even with, you got a couple brothers, you got, we got hella cousins, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, like, we just stand by the men in our life for too long to where you get lost.
Yes. Right? Because if I'm up here and you down here, I'm not bringing you up. You're going to bring me down every time, because it's going to be too much work for me to bring
gravity
you up.
already, yo.
That's gravity, right.
So how do you change the dynamics of it? Because see, here's the problem. If we are continuously feeding into other people and you're not feeding yourself the same thing that you feed in somebody else, you're starving yourself.
Right.
You still down here.
My battery get low. While I'm feeling into you, I'm charging you up. My charge is slowly going down.
Are malnutrition.
You hear me?
Because you don't have the energy to meet me up here.
Like,
draining my energy.
But you expect it from me. So as soon as you get me at 20%, I gotta unplug and I gotta go and charge myself to at least 80 so I can at least give you 60 again.
Yes.
And that's
we are responsible for how much we give.
Absolutely.
We're responsible. Let me tell you, a situation that I was recently in, somebody that I had not heard from for a while, because they removed themselves from my life. I didn't push them out. I didn't release them. I released you to be exactly who you're going to be.
Right.
Now, when you chose to walk away, what you did was you started to cancel your subscription to me.
Okay.
You canceled your subscription. It's like, you know what? This is too much for me. I'm paying too much. So, you know what? I don't want to pay this month. Okay, that's fine. You don't have to. Now, when you come back to turn that TV on, and you want to play that channel, you don't have access because you haven't paid for it.
There you go.
Your subscription has been canceled.
You didn't pour into.
You didn't pour into it. Why should I make myself completely available to you? Stopping everything I'm doing to give you my time, my energy, my love.
Yes.
Why would I do that to you when what I give you, you're not responsible with it? You take it, you throw it or toss it, you talk to me any kind of way, you treat me any kind of way. You don't make me feel the love that you say you are.
Right.
You cannot tell me my love is peace, my love is joy, my love is calm, and yet what you say to me is you're a horrible person. You treat me like shit. I don't like you. You use me. You did this to me. Tell me then. All of those things that you just told me your love was. Tell me how that was love, what you just said to me. Explain it to me.
Yeah.
What is Will Smith sharing the book about, like, love and being a black man? Like, what perspective is he talking from him or his family?
More so from his family he looked at himself as a weak individual who didn't stand up for his mom when his dad was, coming at her wrong. He only had one incident, honestly, in the book where his dad, like, beat his mom to a pulp and she left. And I don't think enough women do that. You know, she left for a few years. She came back, but he never put his hands on her again. Not in, you know, in a kid's presence, not that they know of.
Right. But she showed her value then by releasing.
Yes.
Removing, recharging.
And he had to switch some
she
things
cared
for her
enough
to
about
come back.
herself.
Yeah, and who she was in front of her babies too.
She cared enough about herself to leave. Mm-hmm. My mama was a battered woman.
Right, and a lot of our mothers are, and a lot of us see that. A lot of us see it growing up.
Yes.
And so we think it's normal. So then we get in relationships.
Yeah.
And when that's missing, we don't feel love.
That think it's normal part.
That think it's normal until you see the dynamics of other people's households that are more, you know, nobody's perfect, but are more put together. And you notice, oh, this doesn't happen in everybody's household. Maybe this ain't normal, you know. But then once you realize that,
too hot?
Is it, you know what I'm saying? It's hard
more out.
Yeah, more
to get out of that generational curse.
Because we normalize it.
We do normalize it.
So sleeping under the rug.
Yeah, we cover it up. We're sticking together through thick and thin.
The worst thing I hate to hear is what go on in this family stays in this family. Yeah. That's the problem. We're not talking about it. We're not exposing the people who are hurting us.
Right.
We don't expose the people who are damaging us. So what happens? They do it to us. We keep quiet, and they do it to somebody else, and then they do it to someone else, and then they do it to someone else, and then you find out. From your silence, you find out that there has been a whole trail of family members who have been hurt because you thought it was just you. Who can I talk to? Who can I tell this? I don't have anybody. If the first person that it happened to, if that person had said something, if he had been held accountable at that point, we would have gotten hurt.
You know what I'm saying?
So how do we create that safe space to tell our children?
Tell me, and I know what you like because I know you want it.
You're a child. However, you being a child does not mean you don't have your own thoughts. Yes. You don't have your own feelings. Yes. Children are still people.
Yes. And as children, we look to our older fathers or older grandparents or older grandfathers for validation. And when you don't have a man pouring into you, you know what I'm saying, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, when you don't have a man that's close to you as a child growing up, you look for it in other men, and you find it in all the wrong ways.
Or you become it. Because I feel like that's what happened to me. I had my father in my life to this day.
Yes.
You feel me? And I felt like my power was always diminished or condensed. So now I'm very strong. You know, I'm bullheaded. I mean, everything about me is aggressive. I'm protective over, you know, women around me. And sometimes that, you know, childhood trauma can change the trajectory of your life. And I do feel like that's why I'm aggressive. You know, I don't do well with, you know, jokes sometimes because I was always joked on and picked on, you know, by my dad or my brother. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, getting how you're treated by a black, for me, let me talk for myself.
Yes.
Me being treated how I was treated by my black man. I love my daddy. My daddy showed me how to take care and provide. Like, don't get it twisted. My daddy will fuck somebody up. However, I never felt that he would fuck somebody up for me. You know what I'm saying? And as a young woman, well, shit, if I ain't gonna get it here, let me become it. And let me make sure any woman that's in my presence, they don't ever feel that from a black man or a black woman or any type of bully.
I think it makes women tough in general. It makes them so guarded and put on this hard shell, like, because, you know, you go through that, but you can't do much about it as a child. But when you learn that, hey, I can put on this hard face and, you know, be aggressive, instead, it'll make me feel like I'm protecting myself.
Remember, I had a homeboy went to the Midwest to Chicago, and he was like, man, the women there are so mean and so raw and aggressive. Like, my homeboys didn't even feel comfortable talking to the women because they were so rah. And that's just where we from. We just rougher. I don't know why. You know, down south there, the men are a little sweeter. But Midwest, like, I even myself and other, we aggressive.
You think so?
We are more.
Do you think you're aggressive?
I do feel like I definitely feel like I have my aggressive moments. I have my aggressive nature when I feel like I gotta look for and protect my friends, for sure. But I will say, like, when I go somewhere they literally be like, they think I'm sweet. They don't think I'm aggressive. And then sometimes when I get aggressive, they be like, oh, I didn't know that was in you.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, shit, this is me.
I think it's the other way around. They think I'm hella aggressive. And then sometimes it's just a passion. Then when they see the soft side, they're like, oh my God, you're so mushy. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get like
Who
a
ever
hard
sees
shell.
your soft side?
It comes out.
She's just particular.
Okay.
You have to be mindful of who you show what to.
Who seen your soft side?
Right.
Where they at?
You've seen it. You've
Where
seen
they
it.
at?
You know, she-
Where they at? Who seen it? Come on, round them up.
Oh, for
that
JJ's
boy.
son. That's my child.
Yeah.
She what?
I guess so.
We gonna call him after here. She gonna turn soft.
Okay. Gotta get it
Hi,
on
baby.
camera.
What do you need? Oh, she do that with
Sissy.
Sissy.
That's my baby.
I be like, is this Day Day? Hi, Day Day.
Speaking of which, I heard something about single mothers with boys and how they overcompensate when the father isn't there or if the father isn't doing as he should. And it comes with spoiling and not letting them do anything because you making up for their dad not being there. So she said it creates narcissistic men. And I had to really look at that.
Shit.
Wow.
I
So
can see that.
Ouch. You know what's crazy is that I can see that in like my mom with my two brothers.
Wow.
Like
They can't do
with
no
my
wrong.
old, it's the total opposite though.
Entitled.
With my oldest brother, it wasn't necessarily that, and I think at that stage in her life with my dad, and you know at that time it was just my oldest sister and my oldest brother. And so, because my mom and my dad have always had this very, just being honest, we gotta call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
They had a very toxic relationship. You know, there was a lot of distrust, there was a lot of abuse, it was a lot. And so my mom, with my oldest brother, it was, you're gonna be like this, you're gonna end up just like your brother, your daddy's brothers, you're gonna be this, and this. With my baby brother, 8 years later, it was different in how she managed the two of them. And you know, I think at that point, it had been so much that she had been going through with my dad. Being a mom of 5, you know, you going through these different changes with this man that you've been together for so long. And my mom didn't know how to, she had not participated in her own healing. And so she felt like what she did with my oldest brother wasn't right. So let me change how I mother the younger one. So now I'm going to give him everything. Now I'm going to do this, and this. And so it's like, it was one extreme to the other.
No middle ground.
And so it's, you know, it has taken her a long time, and I think it's just been something that's just happened within our family in general. You know, I think it takes one to start the healing journey for themselves. And then everybody else is like, okay, it's something different about you. What's going on? You're different.
I want that light. I want that.
Or they want it, or it's just, oh no, you're different. You think you this, that. No, I know who I am.
Okay,
That's it.
Just to wrap it up, like, thank y'all, beautiful ladies, for joining this conversation with me. This was very, very enlightening, and I hope that it touches somebody to start that healing process. But go get Wheu Smith's book. He opens up about his life, about his relationships, about what role women played, what role men played, how, you know, the Fresh Prince came out and he found a new father in James Avery, and how, you know, how it impacted him when he didn't have him, the difference between his father and, you know, it goes into a lot of different emotions. So yeah, it's your BookBae. Wheu Smith's Wheel is the suggestion for this month. Go check it out. Thank y'all for joining me today. LaReshia O.
That's some powerful stuff you guys are talking about. I would want to end this conversation. I recently was in like in a relationship last year,
Okay.
and like it's crazy. She was like half black, half white.
Okay.
For some reason, I never had a girl like really dig into me. Like she always wanted to hug. She always this. So she just went up to me so sweet, and I'm like, yo, like damn, I never had.
Black women love.
Well, she was from Broward too, so I'm like, you know, I don't know. It was so strong. Like, she came up so strong. I never had a woman like that.
Well, did it make you uncomfortable? Or did you like it? How did you receive it?
That's why they think we aggressive. He just
It's the passion and the love.
Oh,
yeah,
dang.
I do what I can, don't worry about what I can't. LaReshia O, and the one and only